After the nationwide vote of nearly 100 million, the winner of American Idol 2009 is Kris Allen.
Hello everybody, I'm Travis Edrington. I'm with Kris Allen.
Yeah, we gotta stop looking at the hands of the time we've been given it. This is all we got, then we gotta stop thinking it. Every second counts on the clock that's ticking. Gotta live like we're dying. We only got 86 full 100 seconds in the day to turn it all around or to throw it all away. Gotta tell them that we love them while we got the chance to say. Gotta live like we're dying.
What's the earliest memory of music, and how did you know that you wanted to do music?
Earliest memory of music. That's a tough one. I feel like, music was always around. I feel like I remember my dad playing a lot, not only playing music, but like in the house, but he also just played music. He sang and he played. I don't know if that was the first time that I had thought, okay, this is what I want to do. But I'd also started playing music when I was in the 4th grade too. Started playing in viola and was in the orchestra and stuff. So it was just, it's kind of been the one constant. I mean, not the one constant, but it's been a very constant throughout my whole life. And this was always the end goal, you know.
You've learned to play guitar, viola, and piano. I think drum as well. How do you learn about going through learning all those instruments?
The different instruments. So my first instrument was viola. My second instrument was guitar. I would say that once you start doing this professionally, you start to understand what the different instruments do and how they're supposed to be played and what their purpose is in music. If you have a general education of what music is, and you pick up something, obviously some people are better at it than others, but you kind of know a little bit about how to play, and so you can kind of, fake it. People tell me that I play piano, and I don't really play piano, but I know, because I think that when to play piano, I think about people that are just incredible. But I am not that. But I can fake it,
Yeah, in middle school, I played part of high school. I played saxophone.
Okay, great.
So I guess last year about I think a keyboard, and I kind of started it. So
yeah.
It was once, because I already had the background behind the notes and all that. It was a lot easier to do than.
Yeah, once you start learning different things, like you just get you know how to do certain things, and you know where the notes are. And piano is one of the easier ones, I feel like, because it's all just laid out for you, and not easy to play, but like easy to understand, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't really know the bass part of it, but since sax was treble clef, I knew saxophone.
Okay, very cool.
I knew treble clef.
Well, think about, like, I played viola, and that's always in alto clef, and so when I started playing other music, it took me so long to transition to the bass clef or to treble clef, because there's not many instruments that play an alto clef.
Do you play if you like the notes, like the A notes, and you just know now that like the A's, these keys, and like the G's, those keys?
On the piano, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know where the notes are, and so I know, I have a general education of chords and can, just come up with things that way. It's fun for me to write on piano sometimes, because I'm not a great piano player, and almost like I do things wrong probably, and so fun things come out of that, out of like messing up or playing a chord a different way, because I'm a better guitar player than I am a piano player, so it's nice to switch over to piano sometimes.
Okay. In 2013, you got into a pretty bad accident. What exactly happened, and how long was the recovery?
The recovery is like almost a year. The accident was I got in a head-on car collision with my wife was in the car as well, and broke my wrist.
How was that? Since you use your wrist a lot
Yeah.
for your career,
Yeah.
how did that affect the everything?
Yeah, it's affected. I mean, it's affected everyday life for sure, but more importantly, it's affected music stuff. I remember the first thing that I thought about whenever that happened was, I hope I get to play guitar again, and that was tough. You know, it's tough to even think that. But I think because I had that thought, and because that was almost taken from me in some, that's dramatic, but like in some way, I just wanted to work really, really hard to get it back. And I don't have the movement back, but I feel like I am a better guitar player because that happened. Because I was very diligent about I wanted to learn how. I have to play differently, and I wanted to figure out what that was going to look like. And so I took that year and really tried to figure that out.
How's fatherhood, and what's one thing you enjoy about it, and one thing that you think you could improve on?
Wow, I'm sure there are like a lot of things I could improve on, but I do love it. I love being a dad so much. I think I've always wanted to be a dad since I was a teenager. I have such a great dad, and I've always wanted to have kids and have kids of my own, and you know, teach them things and love them like crazy, and I feel like I do that, and yeah, I love it. I love it so much. I love it more than any part of my life, probably. It's just being a dad right now.
Yeah, no, I read somewhere that that you had mentioned, that you had said that you didn't really want to be like the Justin Timberlakes or anything like that. You wanted to spend more time with your kids than try to become the next like Justin Timberlake or.
Well, I feel like, I mean, I don't know his schedule every day. I'm sure he does everything he possibly can to hang out with his, because he has a kid or two. I don't know, and I'm sure he's at a situation where he can do that, where he can you bring him out on the road. But the places that I play in, the way that we travel when we're on the road, it's hard. It's really hard to bring them out on the road, and for them to travel like that. And they're also really young, and maybe it'll get some point to where they could come out on the road, and that'd be really fun, because they love going to shows, and but the shows are usually late. So it's interesting. I haven't toured as much in the past probably 2 to 3 years as I used to, and that's definitely part of the reason.
Do your kids have different personalities?
Yeah, definitely. My son is 5. He's very careful and very sweet, very opinionated, but also really but likes structure, and he does well with all those things. He's a builder, he's a creator, which is really cool. I love that about him. I don't know if he has the want to play music, but he's good at it, so we'll see. My little girl is a firecracker, and I love that about her. She's very strong-willed, very independent. She wants to do everything on her own, even all the things that she's not supposed to do on her own. She's a lot like that, and I wouldn't have that any other way. I love having a very strong-willed little girl in my family.
But like putting dishes away, like trying to put the dishes away and
Trying to put the dishes away. She tries to get in the car by herself. She's not tall enough. She wants to buckle herself in. She wants to bathe herself. She just wants to do everything herself. She wants to feed her. She's got these little dolls, and she wants to dress them herself. She doesn't want any help doing anything. And I think, if we steer that in the right direction, then I think that's going to be a great thing.
After your accident, you wrote 70 songs.
Mm-hmm.
How was that process? What was that process like?
I did write a lot of songs. There's a lot of, I think that number gets thrown around, but I would say a lot of them are either unfinished or it's something that you start and then you're just like, this isn't good enough, you know. So they kind of just get put in the vault somewhere. But I did write a lot of songs. I've written a lot of songs over the years. I mean, if you play the numbers game and you write, you know, something like that for a record, then you're bound to come up with hopefully 10 to 12 to 13 great ones, you know, or ones that are worthy to be on the record, and yeah.
In 2014, you released your record Horizon. What kind of emotions did you have, and had you been going through, and how was the writing process for that record?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like that was the first record that I knew I was going to do independently after I'd been on a record label. So there was definitely a freedom that I loved about that, and I took that into the songwriting. I took that into song structure and song and just the ideas behind the songs. Like, I wasn't gonna, like, if I loved it, then it was just gonna work. I didn't have to like get it approved by anybody and someone tell me, like another person tell me if it was okay to be on the record. It was, I loved that record. I loved making that record for that reason, that it was the first time that I was able to do it on my own.
You tell me all the bad things I didn't know about myself. Yes, you're wrong to me.
I left Bonnie a note at the house.
I know.
I told her we would be on the front porch. She'd probably be there now with about a half an hour to spare. She sacrificed everything for us, over and over again. And then we were supposed to be there for her. She's all alone.
But at least I'm looking. But at least I'm looking. Maybe I'm lost. Oh, maybe I'm lost. Maybe you're lost, 'cause you're not looking.
What's been your best purchase you've ever made?
The best purchase I ever
Yes.
made? I bought a guitar online. That was crazy. I've never done that before. And I still play it every single day. And I play it on tour, I play it at home. It's an old Martin guitar, and I love it so much. I've written like maybe hundreds of songs on it, and a lot of ones that I'll never forget and always love. So that was a good one.
Are you playing it tonight?
Yeah.
At this event?
Yeah, playing it tonight at the show. Yeah, played it on many records. So yeah, I love that guitar.
You struggle with self-doubt. How did you overcome it? What was that like, and how did you overcome it?
Self-doubt is something that I do deal with, but I think it's part of what makes me me. I think because I'm in a business where that's, a lot of us have that. A lot of us feel like we're not good enough, where we compare ourselves to other artists or artists of the past, and we're like, we'll never be that good. So you just have to kind of, for me, it's one of those things where I have to tell myself almost every day, like, Kris, people like what you do. You just got to keep doing it and get better at it. And you can get better at it, but like, keep doing it. And so I think I take both those things to heart, where I do have to do it every day, but if I want to feel better about what I'm doing, then I do have to get better at it, and that takes time, that takes practicing, that takes being diligent, and not getting lost in self-doubt.
What was it like on American Idol, and do you still keep in touch with some of the contestants that you were with?
I do, yeah. I mean, what was it like? That's a crazy question. I feel like my memories of that year are somewhere in a part of my brain just packed away, and it's not that I don't want to think about it, but it felt so unreal, and it all happened so fast for me that when I think about it now, it almost makes me nervous, more nervous than I ever was then. And but I did enjoy being on the show. I think my favorite part of being on the show was those people, the contestants that I was with, and the people that worked on the crew and all that, because we were all doing this together. It was something new for us, and it was fun, but it was also stressful, and I don't know, I relied on that energy from them, and they're like, we were all compadres, you know, and I relied on that to kind of get me through that moment. It was never a competition between me and them. It was always a competition with myself, and I'm glad that they were a part of it. Really, I love all of them so much.
What was Simon like behind the scenes?
Funny, really funny. He was cracking jokes. We didn't spend a ton of time with him outside of the show, or outside of, behind the camera. But when we did, he was always really sweet and really funny. Yeah.
Yeah, on the show he seemed like really
honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I remember when I was watching the show before I was even on it, he would say things, and for me, being a musician, I would be like, he's kind of right. Maybe not every time, but but I think that you need people like that especially in this industry when everyone is trying to be nice to each other. I feel like we need those people that go, that's not good enough. I'm okay with that.
When you won Idol, did you know anything about? Do you know how to properly handle money, or did somebody go about trying to help you with that?
We actually we signed on a business manager like immediately after the show, and that was good. Yeah, it's been great. We're still with them, and they are a part of the family.
So no, like $1 million houses. Right with that.
I didn't buy $1 million house. No, we've had some houses, but nothing extravagant.
What's one thing you enjoy about money, and one thing you don't really enjoy?
Oh my gosh, I think that's an interesting question. I feel like money can be, if you don't have it, then it's almost like you wish you did, and then the moment you have it, you're like, what am I supposed to do with this? And you feel like it can make you feel good that you do have it, and that's, I don't like that about it. But I also, I don't have, we have done well for ourselves, but we're not billionaires,
Yeah.
We live a very comfortable life, and we're very blessed to do that, but we don't have like houses all over the world or anything like that.
You're no longer with RCA. What made you decide to leave them and go to another label?
It was definitely not me leaving them. I think it was a mutual agreement for me to step away from the label, and I think it was better for everybody. they were spending money that they, well, I won't get into that, but like, I also have some really great friends still there, and I think there's very much a mutual respect between me and them. They did great things for me that I will always be grateful for, and they helped launch my career. They were sweet, sweet people, and I still talk to some of them. I still ask some of them their opinions because they're really smart and great at what they do, and they're in charge of some of the biggest artists in the world, and so I love a lot of people over there.
Last question. You worked on 5 albums since winning American Idol.
Mm-hmm.
Which one was your favorite to work on?
Favorite to work on?
Your favorite project?
Yeah. This is gonna sound crazy. Probably the Christmas record. There was no pressure behind it. There was like a clear cut, this is what I want this record to be. I want it to feel like it steps back in time a little bit and makes you feel like you were sitting by a fireplace in an armchair with maybe a drink and you're enjoying Christmas time. And that's what it feels like to me.
Baby, while you're doing this on Christmas Eve, say a word to me that I don't ever leave. Oh, baby, please don't go. If there ain't a way that I could change your mind, and all I'm asking for is just a little time. Oh, before you let me go. Baby, won't you wait until the new year before you tell me that we're through? Before you go and tell the love we have been true. When I look back on Christmas, I don't want it to lose its spark. Baby, won't you wait until the new year to break my heart?
We had so much fun recording it. I had fun writing the songs, and I feel like you can tell that. And so, that weirdly is my favorite record that I've done. That's why I've done this is the second year of this tour that we're doing right now.
How did you go about deciding which songs made it on the record? Like, you don't have Santa Claus is Coming to Town or Rudolph on this record.
Well, some of it was we wanted to pick as many public domain songs as possible, but we wrote a lot of songs for the record, and we wanted to, we were trying to come up with what songs can we do an interesting version of that maybe no one has heard before, and a different version of like Here Comes Santa Claus. And I think the only song that we do on the record that kind of feels like all the other versions is Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. All of the other ones feel like we reinvented them in some way, and I love that. That's the biggest reason why those songs ended up on the record.
Yeah, I did like your arrangement of Here Comes Santa Claus
Thanks,
on
man.
the record.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Back here in Hollywood Live on American Idol. Got one more for you tonight, and it's Mendisa. No, it's not. It's Kris. Take a look.
I like to make old songs current.
You didn't do James Taylor, you didn't do Marvin Gaye, you did Kris.
That's what I'm gonna do this week. I'm gonna do Ain't No Sunshine. And, you know, just, I'm gonna try to go out there and make that song my own, make it something that maybe no one has ever seen before, and hopefully wow people. Usually I play the guitar on the show, and this week I'm actually gonna pull out the piano. I feel like I'm trying to make one of those moments, you know? I'm trying to make something really memorable, and that's what I feel like I'm trying to do this week.
Will he have a moment tonight? Here's Ain't No Sunshine, Kris Allen.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, Wonder this time when she's gone. Wonder if she's gone to stay. Well, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. In this house she'll say no. Anytime she goes away. Well, I know, well, I know all to leave the young thing alone. 'Cause there ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Oh, anytime she goes away. Sunshine when she's gone.
Yo, Kris. Yo, dude. Kris, I gotta tell you something, baby. Right now, in this moment, man, for the last couple of weeks, man, you've been slaying them, dude. I'm telling you something, you are so in the zone right now. That was definitely one of the best performances tonight. So creative, so cool, man. I'm loving you, loving you.
Kris, I got 3 words for you. That is artistry. Woo! Kris, you're pacing this competition to play to your strengths. You took a 30-year-old song and made it like I'm hearing it for the first time. That could be a first cut from your album. Fantastic. And it was your best performance to date.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
Kris, when we spoke last week about you showing some confidence, that is exactly what you brought tonight. And I have to say, that was a very, very good arrangement of the song. It was very clever, very cool. Like seeing you behind the keyboards. And I agree with the guys. It's your best performance so far. Well done.
I always get nervous when you start with the numbers, Carol.
Artistry, 2 words. No, I'm kidding. Kris, 1-866-IDOLS-09. 1-866-436-5709. Or you can text and we'll vote to 5709. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Good luck.